Hey, welcome to PTL Week 7 Team Builder against Viva La Pasco / Will, a good guy. His team is the Witney Miltank, which is kind of spooky if you think about it. The classic game, gold and silver. Oh, my brain. Okay, so I'm recording these while I have the chance. So we've not fought. I've not even done my last week 6, so it's fine. But we're gonna do this. Jesus Christ. So first off, Heatran is very similar to Salazzle in that its dual stab destroys my Fairy Dragon Steel 2-mon core. So Heatran, big threat so far. And if you're looking at my team, you're saying, okay, well, Fire, Steel, and Ground blows it away. And I'm like, you're pretty right. So I'm definitely gonna have to play around Heatran. Basically, any type of set he can bring is going to be threatening. So if it's Air Balloon, if it's Shucka, if it's Scarf, if it's defensive, like they're all scary and evil to me. So it's rough. Everything else is just kind of like annoying. Mega Gardevoir, if it comes in clean, or if Celesteela is too damaged, then that thing's a big threat. Salamence, just from being able to set up, is scary, even though I do have checks for it. And then Porygon Z is still pretty threatening, even like just from setup, and if it's agility, nasty plot, it'll do a lot of damage, and it's a Z user, so between that and Salamence, he has some huge firepower on the Z. So we'll see how it goes. So I have my team in the regular order. So Starmie is up first. It is a Choice Scarf. Speedy for Espeon Tauros. So basically this thing will outspeed everything on his team besides Alolan Persian, even at +1, or even if a Scarfer of his own. And a little Scarfed Alolan Persian would be the greatest ring of all time. I couldn't even be mad, especially when I have Mega Altaria sitting on my team. So like that thing, if it comes, he's the greatest man. I mean, you can Parting Shot into T-Tran and shit like that. It could work. So whatever. I mean, Espeon Tauros. Espeon Calm Mind could be spooky. I do have Celesteela and a Zeraora to outspeed it, so maybe not so much, and a Frostlass to speed tie it. So, it's not too worrying. Tauros, yeah, if it's Assault Vest, like Thunderous, I can Ice Beam, or Hydro Pump. Salamence, I can Ice Beam if it's not +2. Mega Gardevoir, it's kind of like a, oh, shit, kind of thing. I can get a chunk off. Porygon Z, if it's not Agility. Toxic Croak, I have Psychic for. I don't think Toxic Croak's coming. Blastoise, also Psychic. Not the best. Heatran, Hydro Pump. Decidueye kind of scary. So, I mean, Starmie has a few... I mean, any Scarfer is going to be like things where it's like, well, it can't cover... Like, a Scarfer isn't going to cover a whole team, but it covers enough, and it outspeeds. So I feel good about it. Like I said, having, like, Starmie on a team is tough, because you lose a lot of switches. Basically, the only type of thing you switch in on is, like, Heatran and Blastoise, and maybe Espeon, so it's kind of tough, but we'll be fine. And I have I've Rapid Spin on there over Thunderbolt, because Thunderbolt would just be for Blastoise, and this is Thunderous Therian, so I can't hit it with electric moves. Keep that in mind. And if I need a last second Rapid Spin, get rid of hazards, that'll save me the game, because we all know that going for hazards late in the game, or removing hazards late in the game to win the game, is important, and I learned that, and now I know it. So that's the Starmie set, whatever. So now we have another Zeraora that outspeeds the whole team unless something's Scarfed. I'm not going to worry about, I'm going to go max speed, outspeed his potential Scarfer, because any of his Scarfers are going to be, unless it's Heatran, which would be interesting. And I don't know if Heatran Scarfed even outspeeds the speed this thing is at. It might. So I just have a lot of offense. I'm not even worrying about bulk up this week. I just want the coverage. So I can, if Salamence thinks it could take a hit or do whatever, I have Outrage for it. I don't have the Dragium Outrage because I need damage with the Electric. I know it's weird, because basically what I'm gonna want to do is lead this thing and Electricium Z no matter what, unless Phanpy's on the field, because even if Thunderous comes, I can knock it off, do over half, and go from there. If it wants to nasty plot, I can basically sacrifice this thing to outrage it. I can basically I can go into Starmie, I think live a +2 hit that isn't super effective, because he's not going to go for Thunderbolt, and can revenge him or something like that. Like I'm not worried about Thunderous against the Zeraora. but it's like I don't know if he wants to switch that thing in on this Zeraora either. So I mean, like, and I guess it would depend what I'm in against. If I'm against a potential Z user, maybe I won't. Maybe I could, or if it's like Mega Gardevoir or the Z user, I won't knock off. But maybe I could knock off something that it looks maybe he leads to Decidueye. Who knows? So that's the thing. It's just got positive knockoffs. Close combat for like Tauros, Porygon Z, Heatran. So I think it's the right coverage for this week. So now here we got Assault Vest Jet Jaguar. So this thing's kind of tough because I've lost a lot of bulk. I can take literally I did a mock and +2 modest Porygon Z Thunder was like a 16% chance to OHKO this thing. So I'm looking all right. The one thing that is annoying is I have Flame Charge, but Heatran comes in, especially if Heatran is Balloon. That's a big issue. If I can get like a +1, maybe hit through the Shuka Berry and KO this thing after a Flame Charge, it'd be fine. I mean, basically the biggest threat to this thing is actually kind of Blastoise, ignoring Heatran. But Blastoise can try to go for Scald Burns or Dragon Tail me, Roar me out. But I mean, like I said, Lolden Persian, sure, yeah, for Coat, not coming. Espeon, be very surprised if it came, but Heavy Slam, Tauros, Heavy Slam, and how much can a Tauros do? Thunderous, spooky, but if it comes to it, I can, if I know he's not Scarfed, I can Flame Charge and then hopefully kill with the Stone Edge. Salamence, Stone Edge, same thing, I can take a hit. If he's like Fire Fang Z, then we'll see. Mega Gardevoir, same thing, I can take a hit. Flame Charge, a lot of things where it's like he, especially with the Assault Vest, if he doesn't know I have it, he might think he can either kill me or damage me or do whatever. If I have to one for one this thing for the Heatran, fine by me. I pretty much sweep from there. So it's kind of tough. It's a weird set for sure. I have weird EV spread again, but I think I mean I'm you see what I'm going for here. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, at the very least, this thing will take out something with it because he has nothing, especially with that Assault Vest. There's not much you can do about it. I mean, yeah, I could bring Leech Seed again because once again, this thing, if it's like a grass type, but then as I said, Heatran comes in. I think the offense is better in this matchup specifically, but it's fine. So now I have a Focus Sash, Nidoking. I could lead with this thing. The thing that is kind of annoying is I want Stealth Rocks because Stealth Rocks are good, but it sucks because I don't have a Poison move. Although I suppose if I lead this thing against a Mega Gardevoir, there's no chance he would stay in if I'm either Scarfed or Sash to hit him with a Poison move. Or like worst case, it's like, oh darn, I get Rocks Up and Mega Gardevoir's at full health. That does kind of suck actually. Don't listen to that. So I mean it's weird, but I would like to get Rocks Up. Then I have Ice Punch for Thunderous and Immense. And I have Earthquake for pretty much everything else. And I have Superpower in case I need a bigger hit off. If Heatran is Balloon, or I need a bigger hit off on like Porygon Z or Tauros. So it's kind of it's another weird one. It's physical just because he has less physical bulk overall. So I mean I don't know. This Nidoqueen is kind of rough. Because I just as much as I want to lead it, I don't want to lead it, but like I might have to. But whatever. So next is Altaria, another Dragon Dance set. I accidentally did like Dragon Dance, Earthquake, Roost, Heal Bell in my mock, and then I was like, I can't touch Thunderous, and obviously I'm not going to not run Return, so that was like a huge deal. So now I was like, I'm foregoing Heal Bell. It could be bad, but besides like Will-O-Wisp, Mega Gardevoir, or Toxics, or potential Thunder Waves, I guess like there's not a lot of defense I'm trying to run. I'm not trying to keep like an Arcanine healthy and recovering. I'm not trying to roost a lot with this thing. I don't expect a lot of Toxic or Status to be a part of this game. If it is, it sucks, but if it's not, then we're good to go. So it's just kind of outspeed. I don't know what I'm speeded for, but I'm just trying to get damage off. I don't know. Maybe this is a bad idea. Gardevoir is still pretty threatening. But whatever, so I might have to switch into Assault Vest, Celesteela, take like Harvest or Psychic, and then go into Sangha on a predicted Thunderbolt. Who knows? It'll be interesting. And then finally, I have Choice Band Frostlass. So this thing is actually pretty good. If it got Shadow Claw, I win the game, but it doesn't, which sucks. But I can Speed Tie, Espeon, Tauros, get big hits off. I can Ice Shard, Thunderous, and Salamence. I can Ice Punch and do about like 70-80% to Mega Gardevoir, Porygon. Blastoise is another issue. I could either forego either Shadow Ball or Sucker Punch and go for a Switcheroo. But like I don't want Mega Gardevoir coming down the center or something. I don't know. Or Porygon Z, like even as a Z move user, it's kind of tough. So Blastoise is annoying for this, but I have, I don't know. Blastoise is a big threat if it's toxic and Scald, depending on which status hits which mon. That could be really bad because I don't heal bell this week. And Decidueye can also murder if it's not like Sucker Punch. Maybe I could live a Sucker Punch if it's depending on how offensive it is. I don't know. So I don't know. This thing is mostly to set up Salamence and to outspeed and get decent damage off. Like I said, I would love Shadow Claw over. If I had Shadow Claw, I wouldn't need Sucker Punch and I wouldn't need Shadow Ball. But it's like, I need to be able to hit Gardevoir if it comes to it. I don't know, because like Ice Punch will always do more than Gardevoir. Or sorry, do more to Gardevoir, I think. Especially if he's Calm Mind. But I don't know, Ice Punch, maybe I can't lock myself into it. I don't know, maybe, shit. Okay, so Shadow Ball, Ice Punch hits Decidueye, Heat Ray I'm not hitting no matter what, Blastoise I'm not hitting no matter what, Toxicroak is Ice Punch, Porygon is Ice Punch, Mega Gardevoir, Salamence, Thundurus, everything else is Ice Punch. Honestly, okay, I'm gonna do this live, we're gonna do a switcheroo here. Is it trick? You have switcheroo and trick? Which one has more PP? What? I don't think it matters. I don't think the moves are different. Hopefully one's not better than the other. That'd be kind of weird. So we'll do that in case I need to trick the Blastoise into a band, which would be awesome. So yeah, this thing stops Salamence from totally sweeping me. It stops Thundurus from potentially sweeping me too, if it's like an agility or if it's just like really scarfed or something. It's kind of a weird set, but it'll work. So here it is. I'm not too worried about this matchup. Like I said, I mean, it just depends on like which sets he brings, because if I don't know his sets and coverage beforehand, then I'm put in a really bad situation. So it's like, I don't know, the Heatran comes in on an air balloon, and I'm like, oh shit. The Heatran comes in, and it's not air balloon. I'm like, okay, is it Shucka or Scarf? Because if it's Scarf, maybe it outspeeds me. If it's Shucka, maybe I outspeed it, but I don't kill it. So there's so many things. There's just leftovers, and I can kill it. There's a couple of Thundurus. Does it have Flash Cannon? Does it have Sludge Wave? Does it have, it's like, there's a lot of iffies of like just what he's bringing. Is Salamence Scarf? Is Salamence Z setup? Is Porygon Z setup? I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of things where it's like, he has set up to beat me, I have set up to beat him, and it just depends how our single checks and teams match up. And I didn't put a lot of thought into like the little image on the right. So whatever, Will's okay. I'm not gonna like dog on him and be like, he's not very good. He did okay last season. He's doing okay this season. I think he has 2 wins. I don't know his record, but like he's definitely not bad. Like I would never say that. But just at the very least, looking at his team, I'm like, okay, well, like his only resist to a fairy is Heatran, and then I have Earthquake. So it's like my Altaria is just looking so good here. So I mean that's it. He might catch me off guard. I haven't done my week 6, so maybe I'll be on a huge losing streak. Maybe I'll have lost 2 in a row by now. Who knows? Maybe my confidence will be shot. We'll have to see. I haven't even tried to start scheduling with them. But from your perspective, the battle will happen just after this. So thanks for watching up to this point, and see you there. Alright, so last week, not a great battle. 4-0 loss dropped us to 3-3. So here on week 7, I believe at this point, Will was also 3-3. I could check that. Whatever. So, differential essentially is keeping us alive, because like 3-3 plus whatever, we're at least plus 7, I think. That I could also check and should, but whatever. So like, we're doing all right. So whatever. Here's his team. I looked at it and go like, well, Heatran seems like a pretty good lead. I have an Ice type, an Electric type, a Steel type, a Fairy type. It's like Starmie and Nidoking are the only things that could really like threaten that. And Nidoking just had a good matchup here. I have Ice Punch. I have Ice Punch, Poison Jab, Superpower. I don't know my set for this match because I thought I had Rocks too. I have 6 moves on Nidoking. Whatever. So I do, in fact, lead Nidoking. There is the Heatran Balloon, which he has brought, I think, every single game. So I go straight for the Superpower. That's why I brought Superpower. Pop that balloon. I outspeed 2, and Rocks come up. So now I can get Rocks of my own. I believe I'm Sashing Nidoking this week, so I can feel pretty safe staying in if he wants to stay in, but I figured he'd switch. So now I have Rocks up, I have damage, and this, wow. So let's see what he U-turns into really quick. So he goes into Persian. So that was a great first 3 turns for me. I get huge damage. Why am I talking like this? Good lord. I get a lot of damage on Heat Ram, Pop the Balloon, so that's a huge threat to my team, especially Selly and Mega Altaria. My DFS core completely hit by Fire Steel and Fire Poison, which was bad for Trog, but seems when they have those dual types, I do okay. So now I have big damage. You can tell that whatever that thing is called, it's probably Decidueye. It was on the screen to my right, 2 inches. All right, so Decidueye must be horribly offensive for a -1 Ice Punch when I'm not like Life Orb or anything to do over half. Like, I saw that percentage, I was like, holy crap. So now at this point, I'm just kind of like, well, I've opened the hell out of his team up because he has Persian, he has 2 things weak to ice, and he has a Mega Gardevoir, which I know certain things outspeed because can't be scarfed. So I was like, the only threats to me right now is either set up or scarf Salamence, I think would be the biggest worries. So whatever. So now he has Persian, and I'm like, what's he gonna do? Parting Shot, Taunt Me, Dark Pulse, so I can go into Altaria, and he goes for a knockoff, which actually does a decent chunk. I'm down to half with the thing. So here I expect, I don't know what I kind of expected a taunt actually. I was really worried about taunt, but it turns out my fears were not warranted. So I can roost here. He goes into this guy. I'm gonna say, okay, well. Sludge Wave, something. I figured I could scout a little bit, so I take like absolutely nothing from that. So now I can go for an Ice Punch, and it does a decent chunk to this thing. So there was a little bit gleamed from that Thundurus. I mean, basically based on what it needs to bring. Yeah, Sludge Wave and an Electric move have to have come because I have Celsteela and I have Altaria. So now I'm thinking, well. He switched out. He could be choiced, and if he's not choiced, he doesn't have Psychic because he would have gone for it. I mean, even based on the damage, Sludge Wave was ×4 resisted at 16%. HP Ice or Ground could probably have taken me out. So like, I don't think. I was kind of thinking there. I was like, well, I was pretty convinced he was choice because of that. Simply because I feel like he would have had something to hit Nidoking, and he probably would have tried to go for it. But at the same time, he could be saving that thing. I do have Rocks up, so it's half and half. So now he can knocks off my Sash, which has been broken years ago, and I can go straight for an Earthquake. So I did not have Poison Jab. I had Earthquake, Ice Punch, Superpower, Stealth Rock. So now he can go back into this thing. I kind of wanted to switch, but I was like, fuck it. So he goes for Hidden Power. Super effective. I go like, well, that's either ice or ground. I can go into Zeraora. I can see what he's going to do. I can knock off. If he's Scarfed, then I would outspeed him the next turn. But if he's Specs, which we just find out, and I found out it's Hidden Power Ground, it kind of made sense. I don't think I thought, well, let me just kill him with knockoff real quick. I don't think I realized like he could be, that was Hidden Power Ground. I think I was just thinking HP Ice for like a middle ground move. So I think I didn't think about it until I was already in with Zera. So one of those things where like reactionary, I should have thought more. So I knew based on that play, like if he's Scarfed, he can't kill me with this, even if it's in Power Ground, and I could outspeed him the next turn. If he Specs, I'll knock off the Specs before he can go for it. And I don't think his Thundurus is Z. If his Thundurus is Z, that could have been somewhat bad. I mean, I also figure, like a super effective Hidden Power did that much. I think like probably a Acid Downpour could have taken me out. But either way, 2 knockoffs with Zera get the job done, and that was kind of my plan from the beginning. So now Gardevoir is going to come in, and I'm just going to click Z Electric because he now has nothing to take it. The Decidueye is at half, will die. Heatran's almost dead, it'll die. Salamence will die. So here, I was expecting Salamence to come in. I was like, no, it didn't. Okay, well, I was like, okay, I'll just go do the Plasma Fist. So now I'm like, okay, so now I expect Salamence to come in? It's obviously not Scarf, or else it would have come in. Nope, okay, here's Decidueye. I'm just gonna knock off. So, I mean, I don't know what he was really thinking. Like, if Salamence's Dragon Dance, it can at least, like, have lived a hit and Dragon Danced. I mean, it can have because I've Outraged, but, like, maybe from his perspective, I don't know, maybe thought I had HP Ice or I don't know. Like, I mean, like, the game was over at that point 100%. He probably could, if he went straight into Salamence, I would have had to click Outrage. I think I might have calced, seeing he was Moxie, I might have calced a Plasma Fist to see if it did 75%. I doubt it, but I think I was also at like a plus attack nature. Looking at his team, I don't think I needed to be anything else. I think Persian was his fastest. So either way, that was a huge rebound from the DFP game. That's a 5-0. 15 turns, pretty good. So I mean, like in hindsight, if I known he was specs with HP ground, I don't know, like had I known for 100% that Thunderous was choiced, I could have gone into Celesteela because he would not have gone for a electric move with Zera and, as an option and Nidoking out. So I could have gone into Selly predicting some sort of like Psychic, HP Ice, HP Ground, and then like done stuff from there and maybe preserved a 6-0. I don't play for 6-0s. I really like unless it's like the final week and I know that I'm ahead of somebody in differential by like 2 or 3, or like differential is just a play at all like late in the season and like you need to. But like if it's the difference between a 5-0 and a 6-0, a 4-0, like if it's my brain, you know what I mean. So I'm not gonna like throw Celesteela away. Maybe he's like nasty plot, and it's like okay, now I have to go into freaking whatever that thing is called, Frostlass. I don't know. So I don't know. It was a great battle. The first 3 turns, it was just like the greatest like turns of my life of just having prep superpower for Balloon, Heatran, having gone for rocks on the switch, and having had Ice Punch. And having him overpredict with Decidueye because it was because I was at minus like defenses and stuff. So like it was just like from there like the game wasn't over, like that's like out of control to say, but like the momentum was like, you know what, have you ever watched like poker on ESPN? And they like the cards are out and they have like the percentages, and like basically like the flop came out and I had like pocket aces and like the flop was like 2, 4, 8, and my opponent had like a jack and a 7. Like there was, he had like an off straight chance. I'm going way too hard into this poker metaphor. He had like an off straight chance, and I had like 30 ways to win. So it was basically that. It was like an 80-20 at that point, and then I think like switching Nidoking into the Sludge Wave like one was just like that was like the end of the game. Pretty much because there's nothing to be done. Like he had no safe switches into a Nidoking when Thundurus was choice, so he had to go into Persian, sack that off. Persian was like his last like speed, and he had Fur Coat to stop Zero. So Zero was the third ace that came on the river in the stupid poker metaphor. I don't know. Okay, so it was a great comeback. It helped me a lot after the DFP match got me down on the dumps. This one brought me right back. So we're up to 4-3 plus double digits. So it's good to go. Next week we're actually rematching D-Train, our opponent in the finals from last season, who defeated us on the last turn because I forgot to put bulk in. I didn't forget. That makes it sound so like throwing the blame elsewhere. Because I didn't put any bulk in Mawile. So totally different things, totally different teams. I did record for the team builder for that one. I was like, this is the worst matchup of my life. So we'll see. We played it on DS. So we'll see how the battle went. I'll probably just record his side of it because I never bothered getting my side recorded because I was really excited at the result. Don't listen to that. So see ya for that battle. Thanks for watching, baby.